Welcome everyone to Choice Conversations, the podcast dedicated to helping you improve your life, one choice at a time. I'm your host, Chris Stefanik. Let's do this. All right, today I've got for you an interview with Andreea Harimuri. She's a coach. She has her own business from fears to freedom. And today she talks to us about her journey, how she overcame a toxic relationship and how she gained and lost 50 pounds, how she started her own business. And, we're going to get into like the stresses of starting your own business, talk a lot about overcoming fears, loving our bodies. A lot of really great points were covered in this interview, and I think you're going to like it. Check it out. As always, if you would like to support the show, the best way to do that is to go to patreon.com and sign up to become a patron. That would be super great. That's at patreon.com/choiceconversations. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. All right, here's the interview. Hey, Andreea, welcome to the show.
Hello, Chris. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. So, for the listeners who might not be familiar with you, if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes and just introducing yourself, that would be really great.
Yes, it's my pleasure. So, hello, everybody. I'm Andreea Harimuri, and I'm very, very happy to be a guest for Chris today. I'm going to mention some things about me and, maybe to give an insight of my personal life and what do I do right now in terms of business. I'm 30 years old. I made a career change more or less 3 years and a half ago. As a background, I'm an engineer, very precise with numbers.
Sure.
And
I am as well, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, nice to hear this, Chris. Going from A to B and having things very clear. And I realized that by working so many years with myself for my personal journey as a personal growth and let's say uncovering my fears and getting out of different stressful situations that we all face in life, no matter if it's the job or no matter if it's the relationship or the environment at home in the family. And I've developed my own company. I structured, based off all these things that I found out that they were holding me back from my life. I've created a company and to unleash yourself from fear to freedom. So basically, it's our own journey, how we are doing things for ourselves and for the others around us. And currently what do I do is I run this business from home, which is quite pleasant because it gives me the possibility to travel. And right now, as we are having this interview, I'm in Greece, enjoying a 10-day holiday with my partner. And, is that freedom that you have in terms of location, in terms of schedule? I believe you feel the same, Chris, if I'm not mistaken.
Right now, I actually have a day job, but I'm working towards having my own business that I can, provide me that same kind of freedom as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely a huge fan of entrepreneurship. And a big fan as well of the space that you're in, which is personal development and helping others to reach their full potential, to overcome their fears, and to just be successful in all areas of their life. That's, one of those things that we have in common. So, it's, as I listen to you talk about it, I just, I get excited just hearing it. I'm wondering, with this business that you have, how it is that you help your clients. So is this through like coaching calls or like workshops, or what does it look like when you're operating your business?
The business has changed more or less 1 year ago. I'm originally from Romania, and I've started a business in Bucharest. Having workshops and going to different conferences and setting up different events in order to promote the business. And the beginning was quite tough, I can say,
Sure.
until I got the first clients, and it's everywhere the same. And that's why I do appreciate, as you mentioned, and also for the people listening to this, having a job, let's say a transition, it helps you a lot, because it gives you that little freedom, let's say, if we can call it in this way, to be able to be creative, to have ideas, and to focus on a project or a business for 2 hours a day, instead of feeling overwhelmed that you are not producing money. In times, it gives a return. It gives you something, because in the moment that you are, let's say, 100% at home and feeling the pressure that you have to make the money, or that you have to, to have everything in place in 3 weeks. If not, I don't know what's happening. Then you might actually lose the momentum, and you are losing the energy. And we know it's all about the mindset. It's about how you are feeling and how you are seeing yourself in that situation. But to go back and to answer to your question, it's what happened is I had the workshops. Then I got clients one-to-one, and in May last year, I've decided to expand the business, to expand it internationally, and to change it from Romanian to English, and to update things, like on my website or on Facebook, on the Facebook groups that I'm running, and on the page, in order to be able to share my message and to help more people. That was the key point. And I had to give up some things. It was very painful at the beginning, and I believe, like, no matter the change that we are making, when we have to pull ourselves, from a safe space, cozy, even if it's not the best place or the best situation, but it feels cozy. It feels that we can handle it, in order to expand and to get to something that we know potentially it's greater than we initially had, or that it will give more value to ourselves in terms of experience, or I don't know, relationship with other people, or connections, whatever. It comes a period of this transition that gives us how can I say, like, it puts some fears on us, and it makes us to doubt ourselves, or to look for results and they are not coming. And this happened also in my case, because I moved the business online, so I had to give up to all the things that I was doing before, or the structure and approach, just for a dream, because I thought that I can get international, and there are people that would need my help, and I would also, like, we learn from each person that we are talking to, and
Sure.
No matter, like, who is in front of us, I'm pretty sure that we got together and our paths crossed for a reason.
Right. Yeah, I definitely can understand the like the safety net and the comfort that, like, having a steady income provides when you're in a situation where you're starting a new business and you need that money to come in quickly so that you can keep a roof over your head and food on your table, that's just so much stress to put on someone, and to the point where they're probably, going to make mistakes and going to be pressing too hard and not be able to the stress will be too much for them to be operating in an optimal fashion, right? And but at the same time, it takes a lot of time and effort to get a business going, so it's hard. Probably the ideal scenario is you don't need the money to keep a roof over your head. For example, maybe you have a partner that makes enough money that, while you start your business, or you've saved enough money that you can live off of it for a year or something. Mm-hmm. That way that frees you up. It's kind of the best of all worlds. You don't have that stress of having the money come in, having to worry about making money right away, but you have the time and energy to throw yourself fully into your new business. So, but a lot of people don't have that. So it's tough. I know that a lot of entrepreneurs end up, initially, they're working crazy hours trying to, keep their day job going while, putting, another 40 hours or more into their new business mm-hmm. at night and on weekends. And, it's definitely, an issue. So but at the same time, the payoff, if you can get yourself to where you're working for yourself and you're setting your own schedule and you have that freedom, there is such a huge benefit to that. And there's no job is really safe. That's the thing too, is a lot of times people feel like they have this safety in their day job. And maybe in some countries where, if you're working for the state in some countries and it's very difficult for you to be fired or let go, there is a lot of security in those jobs. But in general, you might think your job is safe, but, anything can happen and the job can be taken away. And a lot of people have been blindsided by, thinking they had a job that they were going to retire at, only to be, to be let go. So where, if you're working for yourself, you've taken your future into your own hands. So there's that power. Yeah. It's entrepreneurship is something I'm very interested in, and I've been studying for a while now. And I've dipped my toe in the water, but like I said, I still have that day job.
That's very good. And Chris, this is so nice because at least lately, I get so many people coming to me about, business perspective. And I'm always saying, I'm not a business coach. I'm a counselor and a nutritional advisor, about fears, about freedom and food.
Right.
And sometimes about the what I'm calling it as emotion called fat, how the fat comes on our belly, let's say, and because we want to protect ourselves, from disappointment and so on. But I get this always about businesses, and at the end of the day, it's just about how all of us, we are feeling, no matter if we have a business, no matter if we are working for someone else, no matter if, for instance, we stay at home and we take care of kids. It doesn't matter at the end. It's how we feel.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and I believe, especially for a man, it's let's say a tough environment. Because the man feels the pressure to bring money home, and is not able to, as far as I saw, with my relatives, with my clients, the men are not able to fully follow their dreams for the fact that they feel like being the head of the family. You have to comply to a standard. We have the labels.
Right.
And that's why so many people are putting pressure on themselves, having to have a steady income, play safe, and in reality they are disappointed, unhappy, and full of frustration because they are not following their dreams, and they have to stay in a stable job. But your example, what you are saying to people and to the audience and also on Facebook, showing this like, okay, look, this is the situation, and you can still have time to put 1 hour here and there in a project, or, like to start a business in parallel. And in 1 year, 2 years, if you are consistent, because that's actually the problem with all of us, being consistent, you will have enough materials, like to publish and to give to people, and to really have a presence online, if you are about a presence online.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, it's interesting. I agree with you that men feel like the pressure of certain roles that society says you should be this or you should be that. But it seems to me that that pressure and those roles are thrust on women as well. You're saying that you see that men's freedom in your experience seems to be more restricted than women? Because for me, I see it from both sides. I didn't necessarily see it as worse for men than it is for women. I mean, both, women can be perfectly miserable in whatever role they feel that society has pushed on them, being whether it's a stay-at-home mom or whether it's, they're getting pressure to work.
Mm-hmm.
Or, whatever that is. There are many, many roles that society says you should be. And if you don't have the awareness that, these are not your choices, they're somebody else's choices, and you don't have to live your life by someone else's choices, it can really lead to a lot of unhappiness and frustration and anger and the like. So, has that been your experience, that it's worse for men?
I believe, yes, it's on both sides, not only for men. I was giving it as an example regarding men in business,
Okay.
based on the clients that I got, because, we all have different views upon things that are happening.
Sure.
But about what you mentioned, it's very interesting, because this power of choice, it's actually taking the power back. And it goes for both genders, for the woman to be able to take her power back and, for instance, to get out of that toxic relationship that she's for a very long time and that is holding her back, and, having the fears over there. And I can relate to this because, this is, let's say, a big story of my life, being in a toxic relationship and having to stay there for many years just because I thought that that's it, and this is how you have to accept it, and there is nothing better than this, and it's a certain mindset that you get to it and you are not able to get out of that one. And the same, it can happen with men in different things, in different categories of life. It's not just about one gender, but sure, like for a business, if we talk in terms of business, we can make things to get easier, because you mentioned earlier it can be tough and it's hard, in certain times when we have to produce materials, for instance, or when till the business it's bringing the results that we are expecting. And I always advise my clients to say, like, how can I make it easy? Or why is it so easy for me? Because we have reasons and we have all the resources that we need to have a healthy relationship, to have a healthy body, to feel good with ourselves, and or if it comes to business, to have a successful business. Because at the end of the day, nothing, or if I can say it in this way, no circumstance can stop us from being successful. It's only ourselves and our own fears, if I might say it in this way.
I see. So if you don't mind me asking, I would love to hear how, when you were in this toxic relationship and you had these fears to overcome to break free from that. How did you go about doing that?
Yes, I would be happy to share the story, because I do believe healing myself was an important step, and it made me realize many things, and like to value love in the way that I'm valuing right now, and the relationship that I'm having right now with my partner. And what happened is for I believe it was 3.5 years, I was in a toxic relationship. And by this, I mean with a lovely person that, drop after drop, step after step, was taking over. It's like, I was boiling slowly without realizing it, if you know the meaning of it.
Sure.
And, I just woke up one day without being able to take decisions by myself. He starts dominating and controlling every aspect of my life. Also about the job that I was having, the schedule that I was having, even if it wasn't up to him, the clothes, everything, just an advice, but it's over. And he being a politician, and politicians, they have a certain way of doing things with all the respect.
Interesting.
And it was an experience for me, and I'm not upset for anything that happened in that period of time, even if I got depressed, and I didn't see any escape. I didn't know what to do, because he was, picky on many things, and we were having many arguments, and whatever I was doing or saying, he was able to turn it in a way to show that I'm wrong. And
yes.
The way that, let's say, I see it as an escape emotionally was by eating. And I've gained 23 kilograms, if you can imagine.
Wow.
Then I discovered, few years after this, I discovered that this was the way that my body was trying to protect myself emotionally. He wasn't physically abusing me. He was, let's say, only about the mindset, putting you down by words, by attitude.
Sure.
That it's even more destructive. And I'm always saying this, you have to be more aware of someone that tries to dominate you, or to treat you, let's say, sorry for my language, like a piece of shit. Than for someone that, I don't know, I'm not saying it's not acceptable, but one time it's turning to being physically violent or pushing you, and then it's sorry. None of them is acceptable, and I never saw in my own family such a situation. Like my dad he was never aggressive in the house, or my relatives.
Right.
But I do believe if you have such a situation, emotional abuse, it's worse than the physical one, because it goes to the subconscious mind, and you remember all those words, and you play in your own mind, because the subconscious mind is so powerful, and we start believing things that we are thinking then by ourselves,
Sure, absolutely.
And there is even a saying, don't believe everything you think.
Right. Absolutely.
So not everything that we are thinking, it's useful for us or it's healthy. And what happened is that I was not able to break that relationship, and I just, took kilogram after kilogram, and I was just eating and finding like let's say a comfort zone. And finally, I asked for help because we are getting to a next stage of our life, getting married in that year, and the preparations were going ahead, and I was not feeling good because I knew it's not the right thing to do. And still, when you are in this position, not knowing what to do and not knowing how to get out of that place without, hurting everybody that is involved, I prayed, and this is what I did. I asked for help, and I found a counselor, and this man helped me to see things from a different perspective, not from that black hole that I was into it, and that this is it. I have just to accept it and to go ahead because no other man, I don't know, would love me or respect me. Mm-hmm. And fast forward a few years later, I was already with a new, let's say, weight loss method in my hands. Because that experience made me realize that we are the ones that are putting the fat as a protection layer. And I've created a method on my own way of seeing things, how you can understand your thoughts and emotions, and why things are happening in a certain way. And, entering this process and also watching the way that I was eating and, doing a clear plan of eating and with different paths. There are different components that I took care of. I've started losing weight. It took a year to lose the 23 kilograms, but I did it in a healthy way and a stable way that I never put it back on me. Mm-hmm. And that's the proof, it's not only getting to the result. Now we are discussing about losing weight, but it can be about anything else in life. Once we know a pattern and once we understand how to get from A to B in a certain direction and, let's say, following some guidelines, we can replicate it in another area,
Sure.
And this is what happened.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that story, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that abuse. I know that's very, very difficult. So, my heart goes out to you, and I'm so glad that you had the strength to go to that counselor and not only to go there, but then to take his advice and to do the work that you needed to do, to make it happen. So, I mean, just seeing a counselor, reading a self-help book, going to a coach, those things, really that's the easy part. The hard part is then actually doing something with that information. Once they tell you what to do, mm-hmm. It's like what you talked about with food. Food can be used as a drug. It can be a coping mechanism to help people who are in pain and aren't sure what to do. Some people drink, some people gamble, some people, are workaholics.
Yes.
There are many things. And unfortunately, it's a socially accepted method, a socially accepted addiction, especially here in the United States. It's, by the way some studies say it, more people are obese than they are at a healthy weight, that it's just accepted that it's okay to do that to yourself. Nobody would say, oh, if you were taking heroin or cocaine or whatever and your life was falling apart, that was okay. People would step in and say, you can't go on like this, but it's completely fine to just eat and eat and eat and gain weight and essentially eat yourself to death. And people don't see what a cry for help that is, and how much pain people are in, and how the food, is really just, it's a coping mechanism. And it's one that it doesn't work. That's the sad thing about it as well, is not only are you gaining weight and damaging your health and damaging your self-esteem, but it really doesn't bring you that happiness. That's a very short-term relief. And then, there's a short-term comfort from eating the food. And then you're right back to the unhappiness and the pain that you were before. And, I love that you bring up this example. I mean, I hate that you had to go through it, but I'm glad that you're bringing it up for our audience. Because, in my experience, the biggest reason people are unable to lose weight is it's not because they don't know that you shouldn't eat fast food or that you shouldn't eat sugar or that all these kind of things. People, for the most part, have the knowledge they need, but it's that emotional side. They're not treating it as if it's addiction. They're not treating it as if this is an emotional problem and I need to look at that, the pain I'm in that I'm trying to mask with this food and deal with that. And that's the real key to success. If you want to lose weight, or like you said, it applies to other areas in your life as well. If you want to be happy in your job, have happy relationships, be a better parent, that sort of thing. And really, it's a factor in all areas of your life, So again, thank you so much for sharing this with us and for sharing it with me. I really appreciate that.
Yes, Chris, and as you mentioned, it can be food, it can be alcohol, it can be an obsession for work, anything. It's a self-abuse that, it's so commonly seen as, part of the reality that we are not even, we are not getting aware that it's a signal, that we are really abusing the body and, our soul, it's in pain.
Right.
When I got aware of my own story and what I was saying to myself and how I was, I was physically and outside, let's say, as an environment in a toxic relationship. But inside of me, I was putting alone, no one was putting me in toxicity. And I was all my cells were just toxic because I was allowing it. I was not taking the power back. And we are not thinking how much the body loves us. The body loves us unconditionally, and we are still hurting it. We are still drinking without limits. We are still eating what doesn't serve us. And I'm not discussing about making some exceptions. We are discussing here about the abuse that no one is forcing us to have it, and we are still doing it.
So I'm curious about what you just said, that the body loves us unconditionally. Could you explain what you mean by that?
You might think in this way. I even wrote an article, I believe, 1.5 years ago about this. And you might think in this way, that the partner might love you a lot, the mother, the father, and so on. Okay? And that's true. And it's amazing to be surrounded by people that they love you, they respect you, appreciate you. The only, let's say, part that it's always with you and, is growing with you and, seeing you in different stages, of your life is the body, besides the soul, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm discussing about the physical part, the seen part, not the unseen part. The body, even when the cells are regenerating and you can get, let's say, in 7 years completely a new shape and a new configuration, in case that you don't come with bad patterns from your mind. The body is the one that is always there to protect you, to love you, to offer you that comfort and the mobility that you need in terms of movement, in terms of feeling warm, being, as a interface, if we can call it in this way, as an interface with the environment, with other people. So it's always there. let's take it a tragic example. When there is a drama, and there are cases when they were reported out-of-body experiences, people not being able to handle that tragic moment, and they went out of the body because the pain was so strong that they had to dissociate themselves physically from the pain. Okay?
Okay.
The body still had to stay there and had to face all the physical abuse, as we were talking earlier, was not able to move. If someone was abusing that body, the body was still there and was putting up with everything in order to protect the soul and to protect the person that is using that body, It's like a vehicle, if you want to see it in this way, that is doing its best, no matter how abusive we are with the body. It's doing its best to make us function and to fulfill our mission on earth.
All right, I think I see what you're saying. So no matter what we may do to the body, or what the world does to us, the body is always trying to stay alive and to heal and to remove sickness and the like, and to keep us functioning and moving forward. That's what you mean.
And even more, like, to function in the situations that we are not giving all the nutrients. We might not give enough water. As you can see, like most of people around us are not drinking enough liquids or are not eating, in a healthy way. Still, the body, it's adapting and it's finding all the necessary resources and not finding excuses, as we often find. The body is not saying, okay, today I'm not going to wake up because yesterday you didn't treat me nice. No, it's still doing everything that it's in its power to keep us going for 50 years, 70 years, or 100 years, and so on. It doesn't go away from us or rejecting us. And regarding that, we are discussing about unconditional love for the body. It's one small technique that I've created when I was in that moment, and then I practice it and I share it with my clients as well, is how to connect with your body and how to really, give the respect that the body needs. And just briefly to mention it, it's in different stages, this technique, but I will just give an overview of it. You look at yourself in the mirror naked. You just have a look.
Okay.
And you might start noticing things that you was not aware of. It takes let's say 10 minutes to really look at you. And you might pay attention to the thoughts, like we are judging ourselves, or maybe some parts we are admiring, or,
Sure.
The point is that often we are not looking at ourselves in the mirror. We think that we are looking and we have an idea, but truly, closely, very rarely we are having a look. And you just have a look, and after you scan the body, the whole body, you just look yourself in the eyes. And as you start watching your own eyes, you realize the pain that you are holding inside. The eyes are a gate, and it's not for nothing to say this. And some thoughts might appear again. It might be that you are disappointed about what you realize. You might feel frustrated, nervous, or any heavy emotion. like for instance, you might blame someone that you end up, with a certain construction of the body, or being in a certain way. And as you continue to look in the mirror, things are starting to settle down. It might take a few minutes, it might take up to 10 minutes again. Now it comes the importance of a next stage by hugging yourself and talking to the body. Just you get outside of the mirror, and where you feel like staying cozy, you give yourself a bit of privacy, which we rarely do it. Maybe as a woman, I tend to do it more often than a man, because women put oil on their skin, and they are more focused on self-care sometimes. And this is a very good practice for men as well. Just, like hugging and staying there as someone else would hug you for a couple of minutes. And often what my clients are saying to me is that they realize that they feel like talking to the body and saying something like, when you hug a friend that has a problem and you want to make him or her feel good, you're saying something empowering. It's very easy and with huge benefits.
Interesting. So when you first started doing this exercise, how did that make you feel?
Oh, awful. If you want an honest answer, this is it. But this is happening always with, there is even a saying that everything that you want is on the other side of the fear. And I freak out. I didn't want to go through the process. I felt it. I'm a very intuitive person, and I went by my intuition, and I put things together, plus taking certifications, which gave me some very good methods to use for my own healing process. But it was, rejecting it and also embracing it. And I believe it's with everything in life like this. What we want the most, we reject, and opposite. When we really don't want something, we might just embrace it, or saying like I want this, and in reality, when we have it, it doesn't mean anything for us.
That's this interesting thing you put forward. It's not something I've really thought about before. So could you maybe, give me an example either from yourself or maybe one of your clients where you discovered that, something that they really wanted, they were rejecting?
Yes, but what I believe is happening is it's important for everybody is to really know what we want, what they want in this case. You put it very well with what they really wanted, and they were rejecting it. And to give you an example, it's about abundance. We all want more money. We all want to have prosperity. And we are rejecting money. It's, and we are not even aware of this, but there are things that we are doing, physically, or the thoughts that we are having that are just closing us from receiving more money, or for seeing opportunities, or just being open to new things in our life. And, I believe that the easiest way to look at it is to discuss about abundance itself, because money is energy. We all know it's energy, and it's around all of us. It's not like you get born with a lot of money and that's it, or someone else because you got born in a poor family with certain circumstances. This is for the rest of the life. It might be, it might not be. It's a personal matter how each of us, we access abundance, and it not even matters how smart you are or how much you study something. Nothing. It's just about being open to receive and also to give. And I believe you also met, Chris, some people that they might not have a lot of studies, they might know less than you, and still make lots of money, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not how intelligent you are or you are not. It's just about energy. And lots of people, they want money, but they are rejecting it. And how they are rejecting it, I can tell you from what I met at some of my Romanian clients. Me being from Romania and an ex-communist country, it played a big role. I can't hide it, and none of the people from the country can hide it, that the mindset in communist time was very poor, and was putting many restrictions to people, like the culture itself and the political view, and all this made people to believe that they are not worthy, that if you have a foreign currency, there will be people checking on you, or that it's risky when you have to exchange money, or that you have to be satisfied with having very little things, so you are not in danger, or, things like this.
Right.
Or it can be that fears that they were coming when you have more money, what do you do with them, because you are not able to invest them, as the government has everything. How it was some years ago. And this plays a lot in the mind of people, and it played a lot also in my mind, because it doesn't make you to see opportunities when you have to stay in fear, and when you have to hold on money, or when you are afraid that you don't have enough. And of course, you want it. You say that you want more money, but you are not having it, not because of the country, or not because of the economy or any other circumstances, but because of your own energy and attitude that is stopping you from really enjoying and feeling rich and abundant in life.
I see. Well, we're running out of time, unfortunately, and I've really been enjoying our discussion, Andreea.
Same here.
Thank you so much for coming on. I would love to have you on again, and we can maybe talk more about the advice that you give to your clients. Like, what does a coaching session look like? If you have this problem, or how would you help somebody if they have that problem? Would you be interested in talking about that some more?
Yes, and I most probably, as it will be a pleasure to discuss again with you. I promise that we will keep it to only one topic, because discussing about fears and discussing with me, it can be a bit too broad, and yeah, like just for the discussion itself, it will be very nice. I will do my best to focus on only one of the topics.
Yeah, well, it's so easy to go into tangents and the like, because there's every sentence we speak, every topic we touch, every question we ask just leads to 20 more questions, 20 more, There's no bottom to these discussions.
And you see, Chris, it's exactly the same in life. Every thing that we start can unfold in, let's say, 20 directions. And we have to pick one of them. It might not be the best one, but this is life. And the same it went with our conversation. Maybe each question or each part that we are discussing could lead to another discussion. You never know. And I just before we are finishing, I would like to end up with this and with an advice for people, because I see and it happens to me as well, to be, let's say, in a fear that when I take a decision, this is a decision of my life, and to put so much pressure on myself and on the decision itself that this makes you to freeze, and you're good of nothing in that moment. And I want people to see that every second of our life, it's actually a decision, and it's a path that unfolds to unknown things, and to surprises, and can multiply in ways that we not even think of. So no pressure, and everything gets to the way that it has to get at the end, no matter how you plan it.
That's great. All right. Well, if the listeners would like to find out more from you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I believe the best will be to connect on Facebook. It will be my pleasure to talk with all of you. You can find me on Facebook as Andreea Harimuri with double E, Andrea with double E. And in another way will be on the Facebook page on Unleash Yourself from Fear to Freedom is the name of the Facebook page.
All right, great. I'll be sure to put links to that in the show notes to make it easy for people to connect with you. All right, thanks so much, Andreea. It's been so much fun and such a great time talking with you today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, take care. Awesome. I hope you like that. I really loved that concept that the body loves us unconditionally. Wow. And I had not heard that from anybody else before. But what a neat, positive concept. If you hold that, just think how that could actually change your life, especially if you're somebody who maybe has a negative self-image, maybe struggled with weight or, any number of things. I mean, there's so many of us are not happy with their bodies, but think about that the body is constantly working for us. It doesn't take a day off, and it loves us unconditionally. Really powerful. I think that could really change your attitude if you adapt that view and help you to be happy and successful. All right. As always, if you'd like to help out the show, patreon.com/choiceconversations. If you're short on cash, you can always share the show with your friends on social media, or go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. All that stuff is really helpful to the show, so I would greatly appreciate it. All right, folks. Have a great day. Or not. The choice is yours.